Welcome everyone back to the heel turn out of nowhere. My name is Brandon. Sorry if I've been here for a while. As you can see, got a new setup, had a little studio built up. Wrestlemania is less than 24 hours away. I felt I had the need to come give you guys my predictions. Not just my predictions, I'm going to give you guys what I feel like the outcome of every match is going to be. Let's start with night one. We got Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. I can see this going two ways. I could see it as Rey winning, unmasking to show it's Chad Gable. Other way I see it is Chad Gable could win, but this feud continues for some reason. I have no idea why. Best outcome would be for Rey to win, unmasked. We know it's Chad Gable. Chad Gable's too talented to keep the storyline going any further than what it is, besides making him just a joke. So this is where I think Rey wins. We unmask him, find out it's him. Next match, we got Jade Cargill versus Naomi. Now, let's go back to Elimination Chamber. I don't like how they played that out. I felt like that was something that should have been put on Raw or SmackDown, where they displayed video footage where they show Jade getting attacked by Naomi instead of just randomly coming out attacking her during the Elimination Chamber. I said that in my last video that if they did that, I don't agree with it because to me it just doesn't make sense. Because, I mean, it probably makes sense to your normal wrestling fan, right? That has been following this for a while, but from a storytelling standpoint, I feel like they could have went a little deeper with it, and they didn't capitalize on that. But I got Jade Cargill winning. Now, other scenario I could play is maybe Naomi wins and maybe gets a little help from Bianca. We don't know because Bianca's in night two. Now, her facing Rhea Ripley, Io Sky. Io's been, getting over with the crowd more lately. Rhea obviously has always been a fan favorite. Bianca's kind of in the middle right now. So maybe they do that, have Bianca help Naomi win night one to get her to play the heel role in night two. So we'll see how that goes. But I got Jade Cargill winning. But with the lack of build-up with Mania, I feel like they're going to give you a lot of swerves and surprises to make up for the lack of build-up for a lot of these matches. Jade and Naomi have been very good with their build-up for the match. Naomi has been doing very good as a heel. I feel like this could be a good opportunity for them to capitalize with Naomi being a heel and show her being strong on her own. But right now, especially with the women's division, just like the men's division, you're starting to have a lot more baby faces than you do heels. So at some point, between the men's side and women's side, somebody's got to turn. So maybe this is a point where this is where one of the surprises and swerves comes out, that Bianca comes out and helps Naomi win. Next match, the Raw Tag Team titles, the War Raiders versus the New Day. I got New Day winning. The lack of build-up that they've had since their heel turn, they have been performing, and it's not their fault. It's just the writing of how they've been put out. I feel like it's been lackluster. I feel like that it should be better than what it is. Once they turn heel, they should be dominating the tag team division, and they haven't gone that route. I feel like this is the match where they win. Once again, the swerves and surprises because of the lack of build-up. Don't be surprised if you see maybe Big E comes out and helps them win. Just my thought, not saying it's going to be true. I made this video to give you guys my WrestleMania predictions, give you also my thoughts on the end results of each match. So this is why I'm doing this. Next match, U.S. title, LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. Listen, I'm a big LA Knight guy. And I hope he retains because he hasn't had the title long. Taking it away from him already, after not having it for that long, I think brings him down for where he's at. He's so over. To be honest, I feel like LA Knight should be already in a position to be not necessarily, the undisputed WWE champion on SmackDown, but winning the title on Raw. Because that's how over he's been for the past year. And I feel like he's been held back for some reason, right now with, how WWE's going with Triple H and the creative they're going, they do like to do long-term storytelling. In this instance with LA Knight, I feel like it's been a year and he's still over with the crowd. So I get it, yeah, he's got the US title, so I know you guys are like, Brandon, what are you complaining about? He's the US champion. His mic skills, and maybe some people can say he is maybe not that great in the ring, but okay. I mean, I know this is a long reach, okay? But Hulk Hogan, okay, for example, was okay on the mic. Terrible in-ring performer. But because he was pushed by the company, led WWE with WrestleMania, taking it to where it was because of the persona they pushed with him and the character he portrayed. The character LA Knight portrays is, in my opinion, somebody that hasn't been displayed in WWE in a long time. Look back to when he went against Bray Wyatt. Look when he went after Roman Reigns. He was a heel in those moments. And what do they do in those moments with heels when they're facing a top babyface? They have them back down and run scared and do all these cheap shot tactics. LA Knight never did any of that. He stood toe-to-toe with Roman Reigns. He stood toe-to-toe with Bray Wyatt. That's how good he is. And the fact that he hasn't been pushed to a full main event level, to me, is, in my opinion, and I think I'm speaking facts, and I think a lot of you guys will agree with me on this, LA Knight has been the worst used talent on the roster, on the main roster in WWE. My prediction for this match, I could see it going two ways. I could see Jacob Fatu losing because of Solo's interference. Now, people are going to say it's on purpose, but I feel like that gives up too much away, because then the feud between Jacob and Solo then is going to have to culminate really quick. I think how this goes down is it's an accident how it happens. That Solo accidentally takes out Jacob, meaning to strike LA Knight maybe with his Samoan spike, but LA ducks it and hits Solo hits Jacob with the spike on accident, and LA Knight knocks Solo maybe off the apron or out of the ring, and then pins Jacob Fatu. Then you start your slow build-up for maybe potentially SummerSlam between Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. All right, next one we got World Heavyweight Championship, Jey Uso versus Gunther. I think the writing's on the wall with this. I think it's too predictable. Jey Uso's going to win. My prediction, though, for this on how it finishes is you saw that Gunther laid Jimmy Uso, left him in a puddle of blood. Gunther comes out with this promo saying that he's going to do the same thing with Jey. I feel like it happens the other way around. I think Gunther is left showing some color. Maybe Jimmy comes out and helps Jey, and that's where Jimmy gets his revenge. He's the one who, maybe hits Gunther with the belt or a chair or something, where, Gunther gets busted open and helps Jey win, as Jey getting his revenge, plus showing that Jey and Jimmy are sticking together. And ultimately, at the end, though, Jey's coming out. He's going to be the champion. Now we got the Women's Championship, Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair. If they let Charlotte Flair win, I'm going to be so disappointed, because I think everyone's sick of seeing Charlotte Flair. Tiffany Stratton, I think this is the time when you start pushing your younger people. Also, Tiffany's still young. She's 25 years old. Putting the belt on Charlotte, from a company standpoint, I could see it, but it's going to get booed very bad. Based off their promos in the past, we all saw the debacle on SmackDown with them going off script. I think this is the one where you make up for it. And this is where I think one or both, you see some color, you see some, you see some blood in this one between these two, to make it seem like that it's that personal. And to be honest, I think it has to happen for how deep it's been. Maybe if they don't do that, a referee gets knocked out. You see, a chair come in and stuff, and they're just beating the shit out of each other. But I feel like this has to get to a level of, showing, that whether it's personal or not, but with how that promo went, they both were in the wrong and took it to a level it shouldn't have. So I feel like WWE has to capitalize on this, whether it's, someone showing color or, referee getting knocked out and some chair shots and, some other things of brutally just beating each other. That has to happen. I got Tiffany Stratton coming out of this one. Main event, the triple threat match, Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. I'm completely torn on this because I feel like maybe not all of us, but some of us are still, I don't want to say traumatized, or maybe numb to still being in the Vince McMahon booking, where, okay, now we've seen between Raw, SmackDown, the past couple times Rollins has come out being the one standing, he's the one in the ring cutting the promo. Makes you think that Rollins is not winning, and maybe it's Punk who walks out. Nobody has Roman Reigns winning this match. Like I said, this is where I'm so confused, because I could see all three angles on this. I could see Roman Reigns winning as being, I don't need Paul Heyman. I'm still the man. I'm the tribal chief. I'm the needle mover. I make this company. And he walks out on top because of that and wins the match. I see Punk walking out and winning that's where Paul Heyman's allegiance lies, because now Roman turned on him. Because not necessarily Paul Heyman turned on him, but that he agreed to be in Punk's corner. Roman put his hands on him. Then Seth Rollins said some nasty things about Heyman. And at the end of the day, Punk's always been the one who's come out to save Heyman this whole time. And Heyman walks out with Punk at the end. But then I see Rollins walking out as the winner, because WWE likes to let you believe that because Rollins has been on top between Raw and SmackDown, that there's no way he's winning this match. And then on top of that, calling Paul Heyman out for not being, a truthful, honest person himself, to lead you to believe that he won't take a side with Heyman. But if you listen to his promo on SmackDown tonight, that he says he's willing to do whatever to make sure he keeps the integrity of the business. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean that Heyman actually does really owe him that favor and he walks out with Heyman and Heyman helps him win to protect the integrity of the business? It's a storytelling point that even though he was on top the last two shows, and history tells us that person's not winning that match. But how Triple H and creative lately have been telling stories, it makes sense for Rollins to walk out and have Heyman walk out with him at the end of protecting the integrity and the future of the business. I want CM Punk to win. I'm going Rollins. I'm going to go Rollins. That's my final pick, and he's walking out with Heyman. Based off that standpoint of protecting the integrity of the business and saying he'll do whatever, meaning that, and I think this leads to a Rollins heel turn. Or also too, a lot of people are making speculation that he's joining The Rock and John Cena. I could see that because, he joined The Authority back in the day, so why wouldn't he join this? I'm going Rollins. As much as I don't want to, I'm going Rollins. All right, night 2, we got AJ Styles, Logan Paul. AJ Styles is at a point where I think he's all about putting talent over. As much as I want AJ Styles to win, I'm going to go Logan Paul because, like I said, AJ is all about putting talent over. No real backstory behind it. Going Logan Paul. Sin City Street Fight, Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre. Another match where I think you need to see color. You need to see a lot of violence. But the winner of this match, let's see, this is where WWE's got me lately. I would, Vince McMahon, I predict every match 2 months down the road. Right now, it's been a lot harder. And I said I'm making this video to give you my predictions of the finish, not just who's going to win, but predictions of the finish of the match. I'm going Drew McIntyre, and you don't be surprised if you see him do something wild to win the match at the end. That's going to leave people in shock of how he wins the match. So I'm going Drew McIntyre. Women's tag team match, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez versus Bayley and Laya Valkyria. Liv and Raquel win. It doesn't make sense about Bayley and Laya being together. People are going to say Bayley's going to turn on Laya in this match. I don't see it happening right now. I see it as a slow build-up. You'll see the cracks in it in this match, but maybe it doesn't happen this night, or it could happen. But for storytelling purposes, pay-per-view PLE down the road, you'll see Bayley and Laya, like I said, cracks maybe shown in the match, or she does turn on her. For everybody saying it, like I said, go back to the Elimination Chamber. Triple H said that they purposely put out the card and saw who posted it and then changed everything around. So now that if a lot of people are saying that they're predicting this, that Bayley's going to turn on Laya, just like the same thing with, Solo coming out and costing Jacob Fatu the match. Now, that's why I say, from my opinion, it happens what looks like by accident with Jacob Fatu and Solo to create a build-up. Some things you have to happen right in that moment, like the triple threat with Roman, Punk, and Rollins. That something definitive has to happen there. A lot of these other matches, you don't really need a definitive right in that moment. So with a lot of people making these predictions about this stuff, like saying that these certain things are going to happen. Like, for example, everyone's saying that Heyman's walking out with Rollins. Triple H and Creative see that. They find a way, like I said, it probably does happen, but I also said I could see that Heyman maybe sticks with Punk because Punk has shown his loyalty of sticking with Heyman. Or you see in that same match, maybe the cracks build up of that referee gets knocked out. Heyman maybe tries to slide a chair or some weapon in between Roman and Punk for one of them to grab it, but Rollins is standing, grabs it, hits one of them, puts him down and pins it, and then it builds up to Seth ending up down the road with Heyman. So that's what I mean about that. The Creative and Triple H, they pay, even though they say they don't, I feel like they do pay a lot of attention to what people are saying on the internet because they want to prove that you guys think this. And like I said, I think it goes back to us just being numb to Vince McMahon storytelling, that we believe this, and based off what we see, this is what we think is going to happen. But Triple H has been so good about just keeping us guessing the whole time. So this is why, it's hard. So Liv and Raquel walk out. Fatal 4-way for the Intercontinental Championship, Braun Breaker versus Penta versus Dirty Dominic Mysterio versus Finn Balor. This is another one. Everyone has Dom to win, right? I even think I got Dom winning, but this is how I see it ending. Breaker's going to hit a spear on Finn Balor. Then Dom's going to throw Breaker out of the ring. Penta's going to be on the outside because he got thrown out. And then Dom pins Finn Balor. And this is where you start to see the implosion, the Judgment Day. Now, hear me out on this and understand why both of these scenarios make sense. The Judgment Day turns on Dom for what he did and how he got the Intercontinental title. And then Liv Morgan turns on Dom. Now, you want to talk about WWE long-term storytelling. They just brought up with Punk and Heyman their promo back from 2013. Don't forget, Liv Morgan was in the ring doing the Too Sweet with AJ Styles and Finn Balor. Maybe showing that her allegiance the whole time is with whatever Finn Balor wants to do. And then Finn Balor starts to wanting to turn on Dom, and it starts with Liv and Finn's there too, and they drop Dom and they turn on him. But Liv will be a part of it in there. The other thing I see happening, but back to that though, is it starts the face turn of Dom. Is that a smart move? I don't know, because he is not liked by a lot of people. But I feel like there's ways you can get him back into, being a babyface, maybe going to help his dad, rekindling that relationship, gets over with the crowd. The other way I see this happening is Breakker hits the spear on Dom. Balor throws Breakker out of the ring, pins Dom, and they kick Finn out of the Judgment Day. And now Finn's the babyface. Either way, this whole IC title match is just built around the future of where the Judgment Day is going. Someone's not going to be in the Judgment Day going forward. And I'm not saying it's going to happen right away. Like I said, these are just going to be slow build-ups because they need to have something to go to for the next PLE. Something to start Raw the night after Mania, the SmackDown after Mania. They need to get people to want to watch the next day. So there's going to be slow build-ups, but surprises and stuff to make you think. All right, next one, triple threat. Women's Championship. Io Sky versus Bianca versus Rhea Ripley. Io's walking out as a champion. Everybody loves Rhea, and everyone wants to see her champ, but I think putting the belt back on her kind of takes a little credibility away from her being like another Charlotte Flair. I think Io walks out as a champion because of Bianca and Rhea just going at it, and Io takes advantage, gets the pin on one of them. All right, now finally, undisputed WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. I am so torn on this match. Another thing I see it happening two ways. The Rock's going to come out and help Cena. Then you hear the glass shatter. Stone Cold comes out, helps Cody win the match. People are saying that if Cena loses, it is a failed heel run. It's not a failed heel run if he loses when it's not clean. It makes him keep pushing further for probably getting more heel than what he is now. I think he's been okay as a heel. I think he can do better, and I think him losing, you see more let's talk about ruthless aggression coming out from Cena after this. So if Cena loses, he keeps up his heel run. He gets challenged by Jey Uso after he wins the title. Now remember, we got the draft coming up. Cena is, if you look at his schedule, his dates are all for SmackDown. Because of the Netflix deal that's happened with WWE, I see Jey Uso getting drafted to SmackDown. The title's going there, and Cody's coming to Raw with the title. Then Cody and Jey Uso are going to get into a feud for SummerSlam. It's going to be Jey Uso. Maybe it's Cena approaches him first, or maybe it's Uso approaching him first. But it's going to end up being Jey Uso saying, you know what, I eliminated you at Royal Rumble. Now I'm going to prove I can beat you in a wrestling match. That's where Cena wins his 17th title. He beats Jey Uso at SummerSlam. Now, Cena wins this match. I see that happening too. Because after Mania, he's projected for a lot of upcoming dates, one behind another. So that leads me to believe he's winning this title. But has to lose it at SummerSlam, maybe Survivor Series, because we've dealt with the part-time champion. I feel like none of us liked it, but there somehow has to be a storyline that turns Cena back to being a babyface before he retires. I can't see Cena retiring as a heel. So Cena losing leads to the buildup of him maybe turning back to babyface. But this is where my mind's all over the place with this. He could go beat Uso as a heel, but then in his title defenses, the Rock's there to help him, or they've maybe added other people to their faction, and they're just constantly helping Cena win, and that makes Cena mad, saying like, you guys don't think I could do this on my own. That's where it leads one of them turning on Cena, costing him the title, making him turn back babyface, facing someone in his last match. So something has to happen for him to turn back to being a babyface. Now, would people maybe like to see him win that title as a babyface? Yeah, probably. But he's been so on board with his heel turn, I think he probably wants to win it as a heel and have a run as a champion as a heel, bringing back the spinner belt. And then, but with Cena though, he'll bring back the spinner belt, but say, you guys think I brought this back for you? I know you guys want this. I didn't do it for you. I did it for me because I was the last real champion in this company. This was the belt that defined it. This isn't for you. This is for me, to antagonize the crowd more and build himself more up as a heel. So, guys, those are my predictions. I think you guys are going to see a lot of swerves, a lot of surprises at Mania because of a lot of people saying the lackluster build-up. But I think we're going to be in for a good 2 nights. So, appreciate you guys watching. If my predictions are right, I hope you guys saw this, and I'm going to come back and make another video bragging about my predictions. So hope you guys enjoy Mania. Catch you guys later.